Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Adonis podcast. I'm live today with a friend of mine on the phone, Jaden. How are you today?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm good. This is turned all the way up. Make sure everyone can hear you. So I don't know if the audience remembers, but Jaden, you appeared a few times on the Tallahassee podcast. We've spoken about. Well, initially we discussed abortion. We had a debate about abortion because I used to be pro-abortion and you've always been against it. But then later, when the Annabelle case happened, you hopped on the podcast with me and we were kind of talking about the whole irony of Nova Tally and just everything that was going on during that era.
Yep, I remember all that.
And then, do you remember the last time you were on the podcast?
I do.
So, we had a gigantic fight on the podcast, which, when I edit this, I'm going to play that back. But you and I had a giant fucking fight on the podcast, and then, well, at least from the audience perspective, never spoke again. But do you think we should tell them what actually went down?
What again?
Do you think we should tell them what actually went down that day?
With, the podcast that we were doing.
Yeah, the one where we fought or argued.
Yeah. Well, that's up to you. You want to?
Oh, I think it's so entertaining because, before we filmed that podcast episode, you and I thought, wouldn't it be so funny if we pretended to do an episode where we actually started fighting each other? Like, not in a physical sense, obviously. So we did an episode where we pretended to fight each other, and we kind of didn't know what was going to happen with it. It was kind of something that we were just doing for fun. But bro, everyone who listens to that episode, they texting me. They were like, who is this guy? Y'all were going at it. And you told me that you even had the cops call you, and they were questioning you about the situation because people were concerned that we were actually going to hurt each other. And so I want to get your side of it. What happened on your side with the cops calling and all that?
Oh, well, basically they, heard that we were arguing over some podcast. I guess they had so many people calling the actual police station, complaining about, the stuff that they heard, and they were concerned for your safety, I guess. I can't remember if it was my safety or your safety or what, but they said that they were just getting a bunch of, phone calls from people about this podcast episode that went there on Spotify, and people were saying it was really intense. The words that were used were illegal. They said it was basically online threatening, public discrimination, all this other stuff that they were listing that was illegal. But the cops literally reviewed the actual podcast and was trying to ask me about my side of the story, and then was asking about you, and if there's any intentions of hurting each other. And I honestly said, I can't believe this is happening, because I literally told them we were just acting, we weren't even for real. And the cop was like, that was all an act? And I was like, yeah, we were just basically pretend arguing. And the first thing he said after that was, y'all should be some actors, because that is insane to think that was fake. And I was just like, yeah, it was fake. And he couldn't believe it, but he was just still asking me questions are you sure you're not pranking or whatnot? And I was like, no, dude, you can literally call Adonis, get in contact with him. And he was basically asking me if you were in Jacksonville. I said, no, he's literally in Tallahassee. That's literally what his podcast is. You can probably do some good research and find out where he is. But he was kind of he was probably a lazy cop, didn't want to do all that kind of hard work, and wanted me to just make his job a little bit easier for him. But yeah, dude, they were just surprised that we were faking that whole thing, because they legit thought it was real. And to sit there and do that and fake like actual like detectives or police officers into thinking like something like that was real. Like, dude, imagine that was played in the court system, dude. Everybody would probably think that was real. Nobody there would think that was fake. That's how good of the acting we did was. Like, I can't believe it, still thinking about it, Sometimes I'll go in and just play back that part of the podcast just to listen to it and be like, wow, we really did sound like we were for real. And, I've showed many friends of mine that exact episode, and they all agree. Like, they were like, what? You were acting? And I was like, yeah. And they couldn't believe it, dude.
That's amazing. And, yeah, I mean, it goes to show you that you can't believe everything you hear off the internet, because a lot of people do fake stuff, whether it's for entertainment purposes, for views, for whatever reason. I mean, if you look at any movie or TV show, literally 100% of what you're watching is fake. It's all actors. But if anyone is a good enough actor, they act so well that you forget that what you're watching isn't real. And, but it also kind of reflects how stupid the justice system and the police officers really are. Because let's say you and I really were fighting for real. I'm going to go off on a limb here and say that I fought multiple people, both on and off the podcast. And not necessarily in the physical sense, but anyone who knows me know that I regularly... I mean, it's literally in my bio that I'm a Republican political debater. So I fight people all the fucking time. And even like in that conversation that you and I had, like, let's just pretend that it was real and you and I actually were arguing with each other. What concept of that is actually illegal? You know what I'm saying? Like, we have freedom of speech here and whatnot. And so I think what's going on in our country is we have a plethora of people who don't really know the law, who don't really know what's wrong or what's not wrong or what's legal or what's not illegal. For example, have you ever heard of people getting arrested for causing a scene in public? Like, say there's someone yelling out curse words, yelling out obscenities, and they get arrested for, like, disturbing the peace. Well, those kind of laws are designed so that the system and the government can basically arrest whoever the fuck they want to arrest, dude. Because, dude, I go out in public and I hear people yelling all the time. I hear people blasting music. I hear people yelling curse words at each other. I've gotten into a few screaming matches myself. So according to their logic, then we should be seeing people getting arrested left and right every single time we leave our fucking house. The reality of it is there are people who have been arrested for disturbing the peace or whatever, and then when it's time for their court date, they say, like, hey, this shouldn't happen because we have freedom of speech. And you know what happens is the entire case gets dismissed. Some people have even managed to sue their city for it. But then there are other people who end up going to jail because they're dumbasses, they don't know their rights. And so they go to the court and they plead guilty and whatnot, and then they end up spending their lives in jail for something that wasn't even a crime to begin with.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure, do you have any thoughts on that? Or, because, I mean, I got two questions that are still unanswered to this day. Number one, to this day, I have only mentioned you via first name on my podcast. So how the fuck did the cops know who you were and how to find you? And why didn't they bother to contact me first, considering that, it's my fucking podcast?
Well, yeah, that was the whole point of me asking you that whole night, dude, because I was just confused.
Right, and then they wouldn't tell you either. They're like, oh, we gotta keep it private or whatever. I fucking hate it, dude, whenever the cops, because I've had plenty of interactions with the police before because of my whole podcasting thing, and every single discussion that I've had with them has led to fucking nowhere. Because every single time they call me and they're like, oh, you said, like, we got a call that you're making threats to someone. No, I'm fucking not. And then they look at my online content, they're like, okay, so technically you didn't make a threat, but you did say, whoa, we have freedom of speech. If I didn't threaten anyone, leave me the fuck alone. But I've had so many fucking conversations with so many different police officers about my content, and they try to create this illusion, like, I think they show up knowing that they're not going to arrest you or pursue any legal charges, but they want to create this illusion that you're in some sort of trouble so that you stop what you're doing. And every fucking time I'm like, first of all, my podcast is entertainment. Therefore, just like Hollywood and actors on all these shows, I can improvise and say whatever and get angry as much as I want to, because at the end of the day, it's for entertainment purposes. The only thing I can't really do is directly threaten somebody. For example, if I were to get on this person and I were to say, hey, my friend Jaden, I don't like him for whatever reason, and I have a plan to kill him. That's pretty much the only thing I could say that would actually land me in jail. But other than that, there's really no leeway whatsoever as to what I can and cannot say on here. But especially when you're growing like I am and exposing the truth, I think there's so many people, including the police, who are going to try and stop you. So they try to create this illusion of like, hey, you can say that. Yes, the fuck I can. I live in America. If I wanted to restrict my speech, I would go live somewhere like Canada or the UK or literally anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree.
But then also the whole thing where like they wouldn't tell me. Half the time they won't tell me who is complaining about me or who has filed a complaint. They also didn't tell you how they fucking found you in the first place. They didn't tell you who was complaining about you or whatnot. That's all supposed to be, constitutionally speaking, that's all supposed to be public information. You're able to go to your records department and look up your name and see every single person who's filed a complaint against you. So why do they even bother hiding that in the first place? That's my other question. Like, number one, I have a right to know who's saying what in my name, especially when they're getting the law involved. Because that's also defamation right there when people call the cops and they're trying to say like, oh, this is threatening, this is harassment, discrimination, when in fact that did not happen. But secondly, it's public information anyway, so why do they work so hard to kind of like hide that from us?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I have the same questions that you do.
But yeah, generally speaking, I dislike the cops for this reason. Because of like what they did to you, where they were questioning you. And then I've had multiple situations where they've questioned me. And I'm like, I'm not stopping anytime soon. So I'm going to keep pissing people off because of what I put in my content. And y'all are going to keep coming over here talking to me about conversations that are going to lead absolutely nowhere. Like, at the end of the day, like, bro, we've got thieves, we've got murderers, we've got Florida has a gigantic drug problem, and you're over here talking to me about a fucking podcast? Like, really? Like, you're wasting our tax dollars. Like, let me get this straight. I'm paying your police department with my tax dollars so that you can come to my house or call my phone and talk to me about a fucking podcast. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this buffoonery?
You cut out that last part. I don't know what happened, but could you repeat that again, Adonis?
Yeah, we're on live, but I was saying that, like, I'm paying the police department with my tax dollars, and, like, in return, they're using our taxpayer money to come to my house and talk to me about a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they want me... Sorry, go ahead.
And yeah, dude, you were even talking about that. I think the same night that happened, you were kind of going off on the whole police department and saying like, actually, I think you were now agreeing with the liberals back then when they said defund the police. I think you're actually now siding with them on that.
Oh, absolutely, because the police don't do fucking anything, dude. I've had countless situations where I've even mentioned these on my podcasts where I've been in situations where someone actually committed a crime. For example, Jonathan Dean going out of his way to show up to my job. This is a guy in his 40s showing up to my job and threatened to punch my teeth in over shit that I never even fucking said. And then repeatedly antagonized me on Instagram, begging me to meet up with him and personally fist fight him. That is a man, not only did he make a threat at my job, but he's now also insinuating violence. And the police are saying they can't do anything because I don't seem afraid of him or because I didn't call them immediately. They said, well, why didn't you call us as soon as this happened? And I said, because y'all don't do fucking shit. Like, this whole situation is a direct example of y'all not doing fucking shit, dude. I've had plenty of, like, listen, dude, I've been hit by cars. I've had my shit stolen. I've been in situations where I've been physically attacked. Every single situation I've been in, the cops don't do fucking shit. I'm forced to handle all of my problems myself. And so I'm kind of like, what the fuck are we paying you for? So at this point, I'm like, yeah, defund the police. At this point, dude, it doesn't do us any favors if the police exist or don't exist, because the way we operate, dude, you could call 911 and you could call Papa John's. Papa John's will get to your house hours before the police show up. You will crack your head open and call 911 and bleed out and fucking die, because that is how fucking useless and pathetic our joke of a police department is. So yeah, absolutely defund them. And you know, a lot of Republicans are gonna come after me and be like, well, you can't do that because who are you gonna call if someone breaks into your house? If someone breaks into your house, fucking shoot them. Because if someone breaks into your house and you shoot them in self-defense and then call the cops, they're gonna arrest you for murder and twist the narrative even though someone was antagonizing you. Like, I can tell you 99 out of 100 times, out of all the times that I've spoken with police officers or had problems with them, they are completely and utterly useless pig scum.
Yeah.
They cause more problems than they solve, dude. I am telling you, bro. Like, I get fucking pissed when I see cops now. Like, before, I used to not really care. And, like, don't get me wrong. Like, there are still cops. Like, I'm not gonna devalue you as a person because of your job title. There are still cops that I might run into, and I might say what's up to them, and I'm, like, cordial with them, so to say. But as a whole, dude, I fucking hate cops. They don't do fucking shit.
Yeah, they really don't.
And watch, for those of you watching, because I know, too, that the Tallahassee Police Department, they keep watching my podcast because they're just waiting for an excuse to fucking arrest me. So watch them watch this podcast right now and hear me talking shit about their police department and then come after me and have questions about this. When they should be, I don't know. For example, I have a friend right now whose bike got stolen outside of his workplace, and he showed the footage to the police department, and they never even called him back. It's been fucking months, and he's still waiting on his stolen bike that some homeless degenerate stole from him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the cops fucking suck, dude. I'll say that right to their face. I'm pretty sure I have said that to their face before. Like, the fact that you carry a gun doesn't fucking scare me.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure the cops were even cautious around me, because in the episode I did in the Tallahassee Police Department, I literally included recordings of me interacting with the police department, because, dude, something that I learned from the Florida State Police Department during the whole Annabelle case is you cannot trust anyone, especially the police or the government. So anytime I do have a problem with the police, I make sure that I record everything so I can just throw it back in their fucking faces later. Mm-hmm. But before we move on, is there anything you want to add to that subject, or?
No, man, that's pretty much it. You covered all of that.
Oh, yeah, I know I went off on their asses, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But moving on, I understand you had a recent run-in with one of my old rivals, Maria Giangrande. Now, you know, Maria and I used to get along. To be honest, dude, I never really gave a fuck about her. But she's someone who's fucking stupid, and she gets mad easily, so I would hop on her live streams and just troll her. For some reason, she fucking liked me for it, and she started talking to me more, and, I even have screen recordings of her, being flirtatious with me and whatnot, which I'm pretty sure I've shown you those videos. And then her friend, Ashley Pearl, who's a fucking scumbag and a liar, basically painted this false narrative of me, and she was like, oh yeah, he got trespassed from campus because, you know, he made a jerk-off list, which is not, those are two completely different stories, which she intertwined into one, and everyone knows the story. I've mentioned it a few times and whatnot. But because of her stupid friend, not because of anything that I did to her personally, but Maria being a fucking idiot and a fucking clown, because of her stupid friend that I haven't spoken to in years, because of her friend's narrative, she now has a problem with me, and she, blocked me and never spoke to me again, and she, spread some lies about me and whatnot. And you had a run-in with her the other day, so what exactly happens?
So I basically saw that she went on live. For some reason, dude, she popped up into, my not suggested, but I don't know, because I never used TikTok, so I just was on there looking at all the posts that Hannah had sent me that day. And after that, I kind of went into my following, saw a couple of posts that you posted, and then I swiped to the left and it went to like my For You page, I guess is what it's called on TikTok. And I started scrolling down just to see some cool little videos. And I don't know why, like, out of nowhere, dude, I saw one random person that was live stream. I was like, okay, nope, swipe up. Then another person, then I swiped up. Then it was a couple more videos. And then it was that girl, Maria, live. And I was like, huh, this girl looks familiar. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's the girl that Adonis basically ended her career. Dude, when I tell you you ended it or destroyed her career, bro, like, she used to have like what, 1,000 followers or 1,000 viewers on her live streams, right?
Right.
Dude, she had like, I think when I first saw the live, and I'm not sure if it was because she just went on live, but from after being on it for a little bit, I think she had mentioned she was already live streaming for like a good 30 minutes, dude. She had like 9 viewers, and then it went up to like 20 within 2 minutes. And then, yeah, because then going back to the video that I sent you, dude, there was 28 viewers during that time. So you totally killed her career, or whatever. Listen, anybody who thinks TikTok is a career are retards, because if you fully rely on TikTok being your actual full-time job and calling it a career, basically just sums up the level of IQ everybody in this generation has, because there's nothing but a bunch of NPCs on TikTok who just freaking think they're actually worth something because they're making somewhat money off TikTok, when in reality, bro, I doubt that's paying for your full stuff, dude. Like, I think you could even guarantee that. And with you now getting more popular and getting views, I'm not even sure you're getting enough views to even get any sort of payment from like Instagram or TikTok yet. But like, I know somebody who's pretty famous, and you know, I think he told me something like TikTok pays you like, I think it's like 10 cents per 1,000 views or something like that. Do you know by chance off the top of your head?
That sounds correct, because I tried to go on TikTok live and they basically did the same thing. So first of all, you're earning fucking nothing. Secondly, dude, I completely stopped doing TikTok lives because TikTok censors everything. Like, a normal person like myself obviously would be censored because I talk in extremities. But TikTok, I'm telling you, dude, okay, so to put things into perspective, I did a podcast episode reviewing Scream, the Scream movies with, you know, Ghostface. And I was talking about why I didn't like Scream 7 and why I didn't like certain characters. TikTok banned me for like 2 days from doing live streams because they claimed that I was harassing people. All I was doing was talking about movie characters. How can you possibly harass someone who doesn't even fucking exist? And so when they did that, that's when I was like, alright, fuck you, TikTok. Like, I am never fucking doing another live stream again.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying, dude. Because, like, I know on TikTok Live, unless you are having, like, a bunch of these random people donating money to you, just from your views on Live, you are not going to make much money, dude.
Right.
There's no way.
And also, Maria is fucking stupid, dude, because keep in mind, and I believe that I was the one who was getting her viewers, but also the one who took it away. Because I used to go on live stream and I would just say a bunch of random shit to like kind of mess with her. Like I mess with many girls. And then the one thing that really got her riled up is when I would call her Ashley instead of calling her by her actual name, which was Maria. And she would lose her fucking shit to the point where she would literally end her fucking live stream. Like, I could call her anything else. I could call her a peach. I could call her Little Marmar. I could call her literally anything else. But Ashley. Like, Ashley was her trigger word. And she got so mad to the point where she would end her whole fucking live stream. I'm like, you could have blocked me, muted me, not paid fucking attention, but instead you just lost your shit. And I think that's why people were watching her, because like people in the comments were even agreeing with me. They're like, this is hilarious. Like, she's just sitting there minding her own business, and I come in and fucking troll her ass, and she lets me basically just dog walk her, then gets mad, ends the live stream. And then when she's back on, I come in, she gets all excited to see me until I start trolling her. It's basically like the same repeat comedy show over and over again. Once she decided to cut me off, and when she decided to actually block me, which I think it's hilarious that I was trolling her all the fucking time, and she could have blocked me if she was really that annoyed by it, but she didn't. She decided to block me after she found out that her friend and I didn't get along. Once again, a situation that has absolutely fucking nothing to do with her. I haven't even spoken to Ashley Pearl directly in years. But because of that situation, Maria decided to cut me off. And now, like, you were in her live stream the other day, and she had, like, no viewers or whatnot. Back when I was going live with her, it was up in the thousands. Because, dude, every live stream she's in, all she does is sit there and look at the camera. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't even do get ready with me's. Which I think when girls do that whole get ready with me's, it's fucking boring. But she doesn't even do that. She just sits there and look at the camera, and she answers a bunch of random comments. Like, how tall are you? How tall am I? I'm 5'2". What is my eye color? My eye color is weird. As if people are blind and can't see your fucking eye color. Like, she just sits there and just brain rots all day. So when you have someone like me coming in who's just pissing her off, that's entertaining. Then she got me out of the picture. So now I'm gone. Now people are joining her live stream, and it's back to, oh, I'm just sitting here looking at the camera, answering a bunch of random questions. People get bored, people leave.
Yeah.
And then you also sent me a screen recording where basically you asked her if she knew me, and she immediately was like, no, I don't know him.
Yeah.
So once again, she made herself look stupid, because...
Oh, yeah, dude.
There's literally a whole podcast episode featuring her where, this was the episode where she decided to turn on me over Ashley Pearl. And literally in the beginning of the episode, like, I joined. She's like, hey, what's up, Adonis? Like, there are other videos I have of her where I would join. And she'll be like, hi, Adonis. And then she'll, like, say, like, a little cute voice. Like, anytime I call her name, she's like, yes, Adonis. Like, in kind of like an almost flirtatious tone. And the entire time she was cool with me, all I could think of was, like, this girl, like, all I do is fucking troll her and fucking basically dog walk her, like I said earlier. Why the fuck is she so cool with me? Like, why is she getting excited to see me whenever I join her live stream? If anything, she should be like, oh, great, here we go again. He's gonna fucking troll my ass. But no, she actually got excited to see me. But now she just said on camera that she doesn't know me. And yet I have proof that she, in fact, does know exactly who I am. And I think the reason why she did that is because she was embarrassed of the fact, because she knows that I fucking owned her and called her out for all her bullshit. And she's just, like I said, she's just going to make herself look even more stupid than she already has by saying, like, oh, I don't know her. And by the way, you can tell that she's lying, too, because if you were to ask someone, hey, do you know person X? They're going to be like, who? That name doesn't ring a bell. Who? That doesn't sound familiar. No, I don't think I know them. But then, like, when you asked her, do you know Adonis? She was immediately like, no, I don't know him. Like, she was so fucking quick with it, and it made it so obvious, like, okay, yeah, so you do know who he is. You're just embarrassed about it because I fucking ripped off the mask that she was wearing to hide her fake-ass personality.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, did she ever block you or no?
She did block me, so actually this is interesting. She did block me, but I think she's unblocked me because, okay, so she has a friend on TikTok named Jade, and sometimes I join Jade's live streams, and Jade seems to be cool with me. Like, I'll talk to her, and she doesn't seem to have any problem with me whatsoever. But sometimes when I'm in Jade's live streams, Mari will show up and also start commenting on her live streams. Or even if I'm just, like, scrolling my For You page, Mari will show up in my, like, For You suggestions like she did with you. So, I haven't bothered to reach back out of her. I have no interest in fucking interacting with her. But I think she probably eventually, she must have unblocked me or something because she's back in my feed. So, I don't know. Maybe she's, girls love drama. Maybe she's hoping that I'll join her live stream again or something so she can have an excuse to complain about something.
No, I think she's realizing that she has no more viewers, and because you're not in there, now she needs more viewers. She's probably unblocked you, so you can now do that again.
Well, here's the thing. Considering the fact that she did block me before, if I were to, say, join her live stream right now, she could, hypothetically speaking, go to the cops and be like, hey, this guy's harassing me because, she blocked me and whatnot. And she could be like, oh, this guy's harassing me, and then she gets the cops involved. I really don't think that would fall through, especially because, from experience, I'm really good at fucking debating people, including the police officers. I've had discussions with police officers about this exact kind of thing. And all I'm saying is if there was any credibility or evidence or truthfulness on their end, I would have already been in fucking jail a long fucking time ago. Because she's not the first person that I've had issues with. She's not the first person who's tried to say that I harassed her or stalked her or anything similar to that. So I don't think that would happen, or even if she tried to do that, I don't think that would work out. But I'm the kind of person, dude, once you've decided to turn your back on me, I don't try to reach out and rekindle the relationship. I don't try to rebuild the bridge. Once you burn the bridge, I don't come back for more drama. I try to cut out drama from my life. So, I noticed that. One day I noticed she kept showing up on my feed. I'm like, am I not supposed to be blocked? What the fuck? But then I just ignore her because I'm like, you already turned on me. You already decided that we weren't friends. I'm not rebuilding that bridge. I wouldn't even go as far as to say that we were friends because, dude, I literally just typed in her comments in her live stream. And then when she decided to turn on me, I was in her live stream, in one of her live streams. That was it. I've never even met her face to face before. Yeah. If it wasn't for the internet, we probably wouldn't even know that we existed. And she certainly wouldn't have a popularity status. Not that she really has one now, but she would definitely be less known than she is already because she's popped up in my feed and she's popped up in your feed, which means that she is getting some popularity. But bro, if it wasn't for the internet, dude, over half these people that are famous today would not be famous at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what you said there is true. I think she's probably... See, this is the first that I've really heard from her because I don't hop in her live streams, and then you were telling me about it, how you hopped in her live stream and she had no fucking viewers versus when you hopped in before when I was cool with her and she had thousands upon thousands of viewers. So you might be onto something there. Maybe she unblocked me with hopes that, maybe she was hoping that I'd see her and then I'd want to troll her again and then she'd get her viewers back up.
Yeah.
But then, see, here's the other concept, dude. There's so many people who want fame and they don't even know what they want to be famous for, nor do they fucking care. Because someone like myself, why do I want viewers? Well, because I want people to enjoy my podcast. And I'm doing this podcast, I think, mostly for me. But you have to understand, I used this analogy with you earlier. A carpenter is probably carpeting furniture or making furniture for himself because it's his hobby. But at the end of the day, he still wants people to sit down and be comfortable and like his craftsmanship. It's the same fucking concept with me and the podcasting. The popularity aspect of it is important because it helps me get viewers and it helps people engage with my content and enjoy it. What does Mari do? She's not podcasting. She's not talking about her opinions. She actually avoids the subject of politics entirely. So it's what are you doing? From the few things that I've seen about her recently, she's still doing the same thing she was doing a year ago, which is just sit in front of a camera and stare at the camera and answer the most basic questions that everyone already knows the answer to anyway. So what is she doing? And you wonder why she's not fucking famous. But then again, why do you even want to be famous? There's nothing special about you. At least the fucking TikTok whores like Sophie Raymond and whatnot, at least they're fucking dancing or something. You're not even doing TikTok dances. You're just sitting there.
Yeah, no, you have valid points.
Yeah, but moving on to the next subject, I want to talk to you about the Chudonis accounts. So, Chudonis, he actually disappeared for a while, but basically there was someone who made a fake account of me with the name Chudonis, and the profile picture was this AI fat version of myself. And they were basically trying to troll me by clipping the points of my podcast where I made really excellent points and trying to make fun of me for it. And I never really understood what their angle was or anything, so I kind of just ignored it. And then they started following my friends and whatnot. And then they followed you. So this is where I want you to take over. So first of all, they brought up a girl that I used to hang out with, but I've never spoken about her publicly. And so there's very few people who know who this girl is. And I think you know who I'm talking about, Jaden. Her name starts with a C. I'm still not going to say her name on this podcast. And then they also went after you. So do you want to tell me what happened there?
Like the Chudonis stuff?
Yeah.
So basically, like, with what I showed you and what we basically saw was so they commented that thing on your post and I had sent it to you because, you sent me all those videos to watch and I was watching them and I saw this one comment and then, it was the most cringiest, like, words can't describe it because I know who's behind the account now. Then again, a bunch of retards, just because of what they've done to us in the past. The way that they, like, tried threatening you was so cringe. Like, you weren't even fazed by it, which, I mean, you're never fazed by anything. You're always unfazed. So, yeah, like, I sent you that, and at first you thought it was me. And I was like, how could you think that's me? I mean, dude,
well, I'll tell you.
I'll
tell you why I thought it was you, because that girl that I mentioned earlier that I used to talk to, there's only a handful of people who know who she is. I've gone to great lengths to make sure that I never fucking talk about her or mention her or anything, because people who are in my circle have a tendency to get attacked for simply associating themselves with me. And I didn't want that to happen to her. So I don't talk about her. I don't post about her. Like, I don't have anything against her. And, like, I have pictures of us together and whatnot, but I don't fucking post anything because I don't want her getting fucking attacked. The only people who know who she is you, my sister, and her friends. And so that's why initially I thought it was you, because I was like, who else would know who she is? Because they said her name in my comments, and I was like, no one knows who she is but you and her friends. And then when I realized it wasn't you, I was like, oh, wait a minute. And her friends have gone after both of us before, and that's how I figured out who it was. But back to what you were saying. I'll let you finish.
Oh, well, yeah, like, I mean, the post was the comment was stupid. I think you didn't even reply to it. You were just like, I'm just going to ignore it like you normally do.
Oh, dude, I literally responded and I said, like, I don't know who that person is. Because at first I was like, okay, well, if it's not you, then who the fuck is it? And I thought I was like, shit, like, probably someone hacked my phone or something and looked at who I was messaging and, like, they know who she is. So I was like, I need to, like, get her out of this. So I messaged the account back. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then like, I think they mentioned her name again and kept going at it. And they were being very, very specific with their details about who, like, once again, I really can't talk about it on this podcast because then I'm just going to expose her. But they were explaining some very specific details. And that's how I figured out. I was like, shit, I know exactly who's running this account.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, and I still can't believe you actually put two and two together, dude. That was really good detective skills of you.
Oh, yeah, dude. They should put me on the fucking police force because I've managed to uncover a lot of things, actually, just by using my fucking brain. But
yeah.
Now here's the big reveal. The people who are running the Chudonis accounts are the slugging girls. I've mentioned them before, and, I used to be cool with them, and then little by little, we stopped being friends, not necessarily because, friends grew apart, but because they were literally spreading rumors about me amongst campus, including some sexual rumors. Like, they were saying that I had groped them or sexually assaulted them, some really serious stuff. So I'm not friends with them anymore. I don't know what the fuck got into them. Like, they used to, I don't understand. I guess I don't understand how half these people that I used to hang out with, they went from being genuinely good people to fucking evil. Was I just fucking stupid and I just never fucking saw it? Or did they actually change? But anyway, during the whole Annabelle case, everyone knows the story. They called my phone for 3 hours straight and continued to call my phone later throughout the week and whatnot. And it was driving me dude, I think during the whole Annabelle case, I was quite literally on the brink of insanity. Because at Nova, I couldn't even sleep in peace because Nova was fucking antagonizing me every chance they got. I'm living on the property of people who are antagonizing me. The cops were constantly talking to me and questioning me, either because people from Nova or people from FSU were constantly making reports on me. And then on top of all of that, the Slug Gang girls decided to fucking come after me out of nowhere. I haven't spoken to you guys in at least a year. Out of nowhere, they decide to start prank calling me. Not even prank calling me. Calling someone for 3 hours straight at fucking 3 in the morning. That's not a prank call. That is harassment. And then this is another reason why I have an issue with the police. Because I called the police out of anger. Because I'm hey, I'm trying to fucking sleep because I got work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I can't fucking sleep. I'm on the brink of insanity because I'm getting attacked in literally every aspect of my life. I'm getting attacked by my friends or old friends. I'm getting attacked by the university, by my apartment complex. I can't fucking go to anyone because, I don't get along with my family. I don't get along with anyone I used to hang out with. So I'm basically fighting the entire world on my own. Now this is happening. This is harassment. Do something about it. No. But they want to question me about my fucking podcast.
Yeah.
But then, so you tried to step in. So you are one of the few people that actually stuck by my side when I went through all this shit, when I went through all this controversy. You and literally 2 other people were the only people who actually stuck by my side. And that's how I knew that y'all were real friends. Because so many people who I thought were my friends cut ties with me because they didn't want to be involved with the controversy. And I said this before, a true friend will stick up for you no matter what, even if everyone thinks you're in the wrong or even if everyone else hates you or whatever. But in an effort to help me, you got their phone numbers from me and then you started calling them to kind of distract them from messing with me so, I could, get some sleep in and get my stuff done. And so they just switched targets and they hacked your phone.
Yeah.
And I remember you had to get a new phone and everything, and you also went to the cops. At first I was thinking, here's the thing, dude, if I used to be friends with you, I don't necessarily, I might fucking hate you, I don't necessarily wish ill will on you. I hated these girls, sure, but I never wished ill will on them. I never thought I'd see the day where I called the fucking cops on them. When I called the cops on them, it was mostly from anger. Because I was already going through so much. And then they were adding on top of my problems. So out of anger, I called the police. I wasn't necessarily wanting to get them arrested or anything. I just, I was trying everything else and I couldn't get them to fucking stop. If anything, I don't want them in jail necessarily. I just want them to stop calling me. And then when they hacked your phone, I was so y'all went from harassment, which is already a crime, to now cyber stalking and hacking someone's phone, which can literally carry up to years in prison.
Yep.
And they're still out here in the world, amongst society, without consequences. These are literal criminals running amok without consequences. Because the police didn't want to do anything because, the girls can do no wrong, because whatever the reason is. But then again, the cops want to come talk to me because I stated an opinion on something and they want to claim that it's, illegal somehow. Even though we have freedom of speech. Oh, it's threatening. Well, who did I threaten? Well, nobody, but. The fuck you mean, but?
Yeah.
But is there anything you want to add as far as the slugging girls go, because I know that, like, I'm sure you've got some stuff you want to say, because I know they were fucking driving you crazy when they started calling your phone and hacking you, and I know you also have a wife too, so I'm sure that stressed her out too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I was just like, why are they calling me? I mean, I had nothing to do with anything, and then, it was affecting me. I was at work, and then, you felt bad for a little bit because you thought it was kind of your fault, because if I never gotten involved, this would have never happened.
Yeah, I still kind of do. But this brings me back to my original point. Like, this is why I've kept that one girl, like, completely out of my business, dude, because you are a perfect example of people getting attacked simply because they know me or they're friends with me. Because you had nothing to do with the situation whatsoever, and they just switched targets because you knew me. And they were like, oh, hey, here's Adonis' friends. Let's psychologically fuck him up even more than we already have by now going after his friends.
Yeah.
But I'll let you continue what you were saying.
But so yeah, they were just doing all that nonsense, and then, of course, I took it up to the police, dude, and then they couldn't even do anything about it. As we were just talking about police not doing their job, right, and our tax dollars going into their salaries, yet they can't even do anything about an actual crime, but just because they're women automatically just makes it seem like it's not worth wasting your time over, which pissed me off. And yeah, I mean, dude, the cop literally said, oh, they're girls, right? I was like, yes. And ever since then, he changed his tone and was like not caring much about it anymore. And they just wouldn't do anything about it.
Didn't you say that when... Didn't you say that when...
I called the cops sexist, but yes.
But didn't you also tell me that when you went in there and you told them their situation, they literally laughed at you?
Yeah, they literally laughed at me, dude.
Right, and you said, like, well, just because they're girls doesn't mean that they can't commit crimes and whatnot. And see, if it was the other way around, if I was calling a girl multiple times on end and contacting her after she made it explicitly clear she wanted nothing to do with me, bro, I would have been in jail. But, yeah, like, that's another reason why I don't respect cops, because how could you say that someone can't commit a crime just because, they're women or whatnot?
Yeah,
but
you're right.
What did your wife have to say about all of this, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, you already knew her reaction, and, she said she ever saw them in person, it wouldn't end well for them, but it would definitely end. That's for sure.
Oh, I believe it. Because I can imagine that also looks bad on your end. Like, you're a married man. Y'all live together. Y'all are building a life together. And there's, 5 main girls in that group. But then there are also countless others within that group that join the party sometimes. So you've got all these girls sending you messages and calling you nonstop. I'm sure, if you're out with your wife or whatever and that happens, that doesn't look good.
Well, it was a bunch of, no caller IDs and random numbers and, spam calls, and that's why I was just like, what is going on? And then, then it started happening to you, like you just stated, and, yeah, dude, it wasn't it was kind of bad, dude, and they were just, trying to ruin yours and I's friendship, I believe.
Yeah, I think they went after you for 2 reasons. I think, number 1, they wanted us to no longer be friends, like you said. Number 2, I think there was an era where people, including the slugging girls, were trying to psychologically fuck me up to paint their narrative. Because one of the most common things that people say about me when they disagree with one of my takes or disagree with something that I'm doing is they try to say that I'm mental. I'm very obviously not mental. I'm a very much sane person. But I will admit, I was definitely on the brink of going mental when I was going through the whole Annabelle case, and it was very hard for me to maintain my sanity. I still maintained my sanity, but it wasn't fucking easy.
Yeah.
And I think people were intentionally trying to fuck with me, and like I said, I think that's why they went after you. I think that's why other people also went after some of my other friends, because they were literally trying to psychologically break me so that they could then say, oh, look, he is mental. Take him to the asylum.
Yeah.
Like, these people made it their personal fucking mission to destroy me. Like, that's why I have no fucking tolerance for those girls now whatsoever. Like, if I were to run into them face to face, I couldn't tell you exactly what would happen. I probably shouldn't say what would happen either. At least not on the live stream. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I ever see those girls face to face, it is going to be very ugly.
Oh, yeah.
But, and then, like, they also came after us again with the whole, the whole Chudonis, the whole Chudonis thing. And I was kind of like, you know what gave it away? Two things gave it away. One, they mentioned that girl that I mentioned earlier. Because literally the only people who know that girl exists are you, my sister, and those girls. My sister's too scared to fucking try and go after her again, because I fucking scared the shit out of her.
Yeah.
It wasn't you, because initially I thought, like, well, maybe it's you trying to play a prank on me or something, but it wasn't. And also the way that they were talking. Number one, I recognize the way they talk because I have a very distinct way of talking to me. But also when they mentioned the details of it, that's when I realized, okay, they're saying things that, like, not even you would know, that only they would know. And that's how I knew, like, holy shit, it's that. And
yeah,
I don't know what happened to Chudonis. I blocked all the Chudonis accounts. So I don't know what happened with that, but considering their consistent pattern, and also considering the fact that they haven't gotten in any sort of legal trouble for their actions, I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is going to be a continuous thing where every few months or so, the girls are probably going to try and fuck with us. But, this is the other thing that gave it away, is the fact that they decided to follow you. Like, how do you know who Jaden is? How did you know how to find his TikTok account? Like, because also your TikTok account doesn't have, like, your actual name or anything on it. So, like, how did they find your TikTok account? How did they find you so quickly?
Yeah.
But, like, they literally gave themselves away. Had they not followed you and had they not mentioned that one girl, I would still be sitting here questioning who was behind the Chudonis accounts. But they literally gave themselves away because they're so evil, yet at the same time they are so fucking stupid. Like, just beyond stupid.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, but I know it's almost 5 o'clock. I don't know, before we get into politics and Christianity, do you have anything else that you need to do? Because we can also do a 2-part episode if you need to.
Ooh, that's actually a good point.
Right, because I know you said you had to go at 5.
Yeah, we probably could do a part 2, actually. That might be smarter, too. Because then you could edit this one, too, already, right?
Right, okay, that works.
Yeah, that'll be perfect, actually. Let's do that. Because then the part 2 is going to be more just like, going off on politics, debate, like answering questions. Yeah, that's perfect, dude. I like that idea.
Okay, cool. So I'll end it here. So the next time Jaden comes on the podcast, we're going to be talking about politics and also Christianity. Because I feel like we agree for the most part with politics, but I understand that there are certain things that we disagree on. For example, you're voting for James Fishback, and I absolutely will not be voting for him. And the other thing is Christianity, which we both agree with Christianity, but the difference is you're an actual Christian who's, like, very dedicated to the religion, whereas I'm not religious in any sense, but I do agree with Christianity. And, dude, I know, and I'm looking forward to this, because I know when we get into Christianity, you're going to be absolutely brutal with your opinions and whatnot.
Oh, yes.
Like, not just with me, but I'm sure there's going to be other examples of people that I can bring up, and you can state whether you agree with them or disagree with them. But, I feel like I'm more brutal with politics than anything, and you're like more brutal with Christianity than anything.
Yeah, that's perfect way to put it.
Perfect. Well, before I end this, is there anything you want to say to the audience? Anything else you want to cover before we wrap it up?
No, the only thing I gotta say is just stay away from stupid women and you'll be good.
Well, I'll tell you this, women like the slugging girls are exactly why I'm so distrustful towards women for the most part. Like, I don't think there's a single woman in the planet that I trust fully. And it's because there's been countless women in my life, like the slugging girls, who are just pure fucking evil. Like, how evil, let me ask you something, how evil do you have to be to try and psychologically destroy someone like those girls tried to do to me, where they were trying to get between our friendship, but also try to psychologically fuck me up?
Yeah, you gotta be pretty mean.
Exactly, and like, they're not the only ones. There's other girls too. I think they got the best of me because they actually knew me better than most of the other girls in Tallahassee. Because there was a time period where I was friends with both guys and girls, and like all of us, there were people that I hung out with more than others. I used to hang out with the slugging girls a lot, so they definitely knew me better than I'd say most other people in the city of Tallahassee. And because they knew me well, they also knew exactly how to psychologically fuck with me. But I guess in our years of hanging out, they never realized just how mentally strong I am. Because look, they ultimately, even though they're not in fucking jail like they should be, they ultimately failed.
Yep.
But, alright, well, thanks for coming on, and I guess we'll be talking again soon.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to do this part 2.
Oh, me too.